On Second Shot, we tackle 2 new headlines every week to find out what kind of wisdom the world is dishing out today. And we want you to be a part of that. When you see a headline you want to take a second shot at, or if you're looking for advice, or just want to tell us what you think of the show, email us at secondshotcast@gmail.com. If you like what you hear, rate us on iTunes. This helps us move up in the ratings so more people will see us. And if you want to hear more, subscribe to the show so that the new episodes will get straight to you every single Friday. We love you. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
There's a lot of news in the world today.
News that might surprise you, startle you, upset, or maybe impress.
News that's not always for the faint of heart.
That's why the man who failed his way to success, Heath Oakes, is stepping up.
Tackling today's headlines with ignorance on fire in a way only a millennial mogul can.
Take off your sport coat, grab a beer, and enjoy the conversation.
This is Second Shot with your host, Heath Oakes.
Welcome to our learning farm. We have much to show you. It's amazing the tunes that get stuck in your head when you have a 7-month-old.
Yeah.
They're sitting in there in the playpen and pushing those. Welcome to our learning farm. We have. It's like over and over and over and over and over. And I'm like, it's like that thing that just won't get out of your head.
Oh yeah, that'll
Good to
be
see you,
burned
Zach.
into your brain. Good to see you too, Heath. You look well.
Thank you, sir. I feel really refreshed since all of the big meetings are over with. We got a special guest today. Partner of business with me, Joel Toigo.
What's going on, everybody? Very special.
I'm excited to have a little
Yeah,
fresh
special.
blood on the podcast.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
been a while.
Yeah, Joel is running the state of Oklahoma and
wow.
was in Florida and actually in the same area that I was at before. And then took over the state of Oklahoma this past year. And it's been great because Joel comes from a guy that I hired in Florida, recruited him. And so when Joel came to Oklahoma, it's kind of like, you know, we already knew each other very well, even though we really didn't that well, and because we kind of all believe and get along with the same thing, so it's pretty fun, and he's been a big fan of the show as well.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I saw you were at some work events recently. Didn't look much like work events, honestly. Team building kind of
yeah.
things. Were you guys both at that, or?
Well, he had his own.
Okay.
He had his own in
we
Oklahoma.
didn't have the thing that you're talking about that he had. No,
We should talk about the thing.
We did it pretty big. I got to say, we did a casino night the night before, and we gave away about $4,000 or $5,000 worth of.
There's some rad prizes on that table.
You
Yeah.
named electronics and some
Oh, yeah.
purses.
Did he
and
say
all-
rad?
Yeah,
I like
He
that.
did.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah,
busted
there's a
out the rad.
PlayStation 4 and a TV and
Xboxes.
a popcorn popper. Yeah, it was
A
good.
Star Wars Jedi virtual reality thing.
Really?
Oh, that was
Oh,
cool.
wow.
Dude, I want to buy that for myself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Shoot.
I figured you would like that.
Oh, yeah.
You are kind of a nerd like that.
I'll own that.
And the next day, so in my kickoff meeting I had yesterday,
Yes.
you know, we had about 200 to 250 people there, and I had a big cash cube on stage.
A cash cube.
So so now, you know the way I dress, okay?
Yeah, I do.
And I had Tupac socks on yesterday.
Yeah, I saw those on
And
Facebook. Tupac socks.
Yeah, my green suit and everything, and I go to the bank, and I get $1,000, 500 in ones, and the rest in 5, 10s, and 20s. Do you think I could have talked that teller out of believing what I was really doing with that?
No.
Absolutely
No
not.
way. Because what was she thought in her head?
You had the green suit on, right?
Yeah. So I straight up, there was no way you were not going to believe that I was not going to some special club.
And this is one of the things I love about Heath Oakes is that I would have reservations about that. But, well, I got to change clothes or something. I don't want to. Nope.
I love
no problem. Yeah, just totally roll in. You knew what people were thinking. You didn't care.
Absolutely. Rolled
great.
out with all of it in there. And we had, and so we threw that money in there all day long, and all of our agents and stuff, name got drawn and stuff. They got to get up there and stand in the cash cube and get as much cash as they possibly could.
Right. A cash cube is one of those machines that you stand in and it like shoots money up in the air inside the machine. You just grab as much as you
Like
can.
a wind tunnel with cash flying
Yep.
around.
Right. I wanted to ask about some of the rules of this thing. How
You
did it
can't
work?
touch the wall and you can't touch the ground. You got to grab it out
That
of
was
there.
it?
That's it.
You could use anything in the like.
You can't touch anything.
Because I wondered like if somebody could use their shirt as
I
a
thought-
One
I
did.
thought
One
about
did.
that. Yeah.
One pulled their sweater out
Yeah.
and got a lot of it. But
It
as long
seems
as
like the strategy.
Yeah,
but
yeah. That's what I'd have done.
That's what I did. You don't tell people that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But it was
Rock
great.
on.
We
They'll
gave away
forget
a
by
lot of
next
money.
year.
Had
Yeah.
a lot of excitement with it. It was really fun. I mean, because here's the thing. I'm a salesperson. I don't like meetings.
Right.
Okay?
No.
Nobody likes to sit in meetings for 8-9 hours a day. So we do all we can to make it as creative as possible, to have as much fun, to liven it up, because it's kind of boring. So you can never get me to sit in a meeting all day. And I'm not a big fan of anything else. But, I think that one of the interesting things about our stories today, what are we looking like on time here on this? How
Not
much are we
great.
already
I was
in?
going to say maybe we
So-
should do the first.
Yeah. So
yeah.
let's just do this here, guys, because this one is I got to kind of get this out because this one kind of perturbed me a little bit. Is that a word? Is perturbed a word? You know, I'm making a lot of words.
Is
that a
no,
word?
that's a word.
That is
So I
a
said
word.
that
Yeah,
right? Good.
well done, sir.
Look, I'm proud of myself. I even act like I know what I'm doing.
The first headline for today, woman returns Christmas tree on January 4th for refund because it was dead. So a woman went to Costco January 4th to return her Christmas tree she'd bought there, and her reasoning was because it's dead. It's January 4th, well after the holiday. Yeah. I guess the twist on this, the punchline, Costco absolutely refunded her the money.
Yeah, because they have that rule of
course,
we return everything, and the only reason it's out there is because somebody standing in line took a picture of her and blasted her on there for going, I can't believe she's doing this. Like,
I can't make this stuff up on Facebook. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
and they were very irate about it, and this thing went viral. When you see that, Joe, what goes through your mind?
Well, first of all, I imagine being the customer service person on the opposite end of that thing.
Wouldn't that be hard?
Yeah, because you have to maintain professionalism, do it right, and you know if they're willing to bring that, they'll get as irate as they want to get their way.
Yeah.
Right.
which is ridiculous.
Because you got enough
Blood
of it to
pressure
walk
goes
through there
up,
with that dead tree and it acting like it. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's like
Yeah.
walking in a bank with a green suit and getting 1,000 ones.
yeah, exactly.
True. What I thought about on this was, in today's life, also, I mean, in any time actually, there's rules and there's laws,
Yep.
and then there's morals. Just because something is not against the law doesn't mean it's the right or wrong thing to do, right? Like there's two justifications. There's one that you can get in trouble with the law, and then there's your morals and ethics, right? Costco has a rule in place of always take refunds, right? This person really took advantage of that.
He was who? You hear that?
Yeah, that
I'm
was
pulling,
good.
I'm pulling.
You pulled a hello.
I did pull a whoa. Huge problem with that.
Yeah, she goes in there and takes advantage of the whole situation that they do the refunds and, buys a Christmas tree, uses it all Christmas, takes it back dead. So, she obviously crossed that line in my opinion, totally my opinion. But what are other scenarios and stuff that you see and that you can think of that there are either no laws or laws for and people take advantage of them for not, or do you have some examples like that
Well,
maybe
sure. I mean,
were great, more than just returning a Christmas tree?
Well, I'm going to tell on myself. When I was probably like 18, 20 years old, Walmart would take anything back from anybody. Mm-hmm. And, of course, I'd have a new watch every other year because the time was off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's stupid. And looking back on that, that's absolutely nothing
Yeah.
that I would ever want my kids to do. So you mentioned just because it's I'm kind of flipping this. Just because it's legal also doesn't make it right.
Yep. True.
You could go two ways on that thing.
Yep.
You got this lady, I think there's a sense of entitlement that comes with I'm owed this.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I think that bothers me the most because the word entitlement drives me crazy only simply because it's things like this where people will take their stuff in and just shove it in somebody's face who's trying to operate right. And there becomes a conflict of how people feel, which makes a huge event when really if you'd have just said, hey, this is a dead tree.
Yeah.
and burn it in the backyard.
You can't take advantage of all these things, I look at it, there's a lot of times in business that here's what people will say. Well, it's business, it's not personal when they screw somebody. Now, they do that because they'll go, they tell somebody, oh man, let's do it this way, that'll work. And then they have, contract, but you just told him, kept his word, right? And then he comes through and changes that up and goes, what's in the contract is what it is. He's like, yeah, but you told me this. Yeah, but this is the contract. And it's like, it's not business, it's personal. No, you just screwed him and you're trying to make it not personal to make yourself feel better.
Right.
Too many times in today, that happens all the time. You'll go, well, what's in the contract versus what you really know is right.
Right is
if
right.
you know that your agreement was that, you need to stick to your agreement, no matter what it is. And I'm a big fan of the fact that if you just hold true to your own truths, at the end of the day, this lady does that piss me off some? Yes, that's absolutely. But have I lost any? No, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it because there's going to be people that do that.
Absolutely.
All I got to make sure is that I'm one that is a living example that I don't take advantage of those things, and that my daughter sees that, and that she doesn't become that type of person.
Right.
But there's so many other circumstances that it kind of really retains, I think, in all kinds of life.
Well, kind of to your point, one of the things, I've been the guy who went with the word and got screwed by the letter of what was in the contract. And the reality is that was a learning lesson for me that I actually have to protect myself, even though I'd like to do the handshake and smile.
Yep.
You got to make sure in business that you're covering your tail. Spend
Yep.
extra money on an attorney, whatever it takes to make sure that you are covered, because the he said, she said don't hold up anywhere. And it is unfortunate that you have to do that, but you do.
Yep. And people will take advantage of that.
Every time.
Look, people will take advantage of that because if people will return a Christmas tree after Christmas because it's dead for their refund, people are dang sure going to take advantage of what you said verbally in that contract, right?
Yep, absolutely.
All right, we're going to be right back because we can't talk about no more Christmas trees for I get a little bit too riled up over here. Is riled up a word? Coming
Riled
back
up is
after
a
the
word.
first segment of Second Shot is
Doing
over.
good today, 2 for 2.
He's a suit and tie kind of guy with deep Southern roots. Heath Oaks hosts more of Second Shot coming up on RNCN.
You guys have been listening to Second Shot and hearing us talk about it. You need to go pick up my book, Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. You can get it on Amazon in a paper book. You can also hear this beautiful voice of mine in audiobook style on Audible or anywhere you're going to get your audiobooks. Guys, this book took a lot of time to put into it, and I believe it can really be some life-changing stuff to help you on your path to success. And hopefully you're going to fail your way to success just like I did. Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. Amazon.com, Audible.com, audiobooks, paper books, everything. Get it, share it with your people, and I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Go pick it up today.
Ready? Aim. Fire. Second Shot is back for another round on RNCN.
We could have had a viral video going on right then if we could have had video on Josh trying to just get the microphone stand to work. That it was such a really intense focus on this microphone kicking his butt, and it was
I was
hilarious.
able to take some pictures of that, so I'll be sure to send it. in
Okay.
case
Please do.
you
Good.
Yeah.
guys need to
Be happy
include
to
that in
have
the
him.
thing.
Poor Josh.
It's my first time to do this over here. and
Welcome to
the
the show.
microphone isn't operating the way it should.
Yeah.
It's not user error.
Oh, it's on.
Yeah,
it's on the
microphone
technology.
fault. Yeah.
Yeah.
He hasn't listened to enough Second Shot, ladies and gentlemen, or obviously he would know that that's not the route to go.
One of the beautiful things about this show is the stuff that happens in between the segments.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious.
For a little peek behind the curtain, we're talking about moving to a new studio, and when we do, I'd like some kind of blanket policy. Like when you're in the studio, you're live, so if anything does happen, we can just have it. And we can put that out. There you go. Here's something that happened that wasn't on the show.
That would be awesome.
I agree.
Those are
I
the best
agree.
things.
That's something we got to get
Now,
cracking on.
this next headline, I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be very familiar with it. That Zach, you got to read for us.
Yes. The headline is, "We made a mistake. Hawaii sends false missile alert."
Oh, just a little bitty.
A little,
Whoopsie.
a little something. A false alarm that warned of a ballistic missile headed for Hawaii sent the islands into panic Saturday the 13th, if I've got that date right. It was in the morning. For nearly 40 minutes, it seemed like the world was going to end. People just got on their phones an alert that said, "Ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill." It's easy to laugh about on the mainland. It is.
Can you imagine what would go through your head, though?
Well, that's exactly
And what
it.
were you talking about? You said that some of the other recounts.
Right. That's what really perplexed me about this is people would get on the internet and somebody asked, hey, people of Hawaii, what did you do when you got this? How did you react? And they were like, I hugged my kids and cried. I hid in a closet. Like, what can you do? Other people were just like, I played on my phone. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, I'm doomed. That was it. That's game over. That was the end as far as I knew it. I just got a message on my phone like, you're done. Punch out. Your time is up.
And the interesting thing, you got to think about it here, is that it's not like, I feel like the other day there was a fire drill at one of the,
Oh, yeah.
the fire alarm went off, right? And
was in Austin.
Nobody moved.
Nobody.
Not a single soul anywhere moved, right? It's like, oh, there's another drill.
I just stepped off the elevator. I said,
And
man, I
nobody
was
moved.
glad I wasn't in the elevator.
Yeah. And what's interesting is that, it was a real fire in the garage.
Oh, really?
It
was a
but
real fire?
Nobody moved.
No.
It was a small little fire, wasn't anything big, but it just was real and nobody moved. I think if us in Texas got that alert, there'd be a lot of people going, somebody's playing a joke, probably.
Mm-hmm.
In Hawaii, they don't.
Right.
We got to remember, there's a thing called Pearl Harbor
Yeah.
that was real, that happened, and that is the place that they would go after probably just because, it's not like we get it in Texas where it's even another step up.
Well, they're also on an
probably not
island. They have nowhere to go.
Yeah, there's comfort
Yeah, yeah.
in the mainland.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
if you got an alert in Dallas, you'd be like, shoot, I can be in Tyler in 45 minutes.
just
Yeah,
so
what
that
do I got to
way.
worry about?
Yeah.
They can't do that.
That's true.
Yeah, they're kind of trapped. And I guess the angle to look at this is man, what do you how does it feel when you're faced with that? Just like, that's it. Game over. Everything you've done so far.
Well,
that's
and
as far as
also
you
some
get.
of the recounts that people had are going, they were feeling grateful for what they had. They were appreciative of all this. And it's like, why do we wait till the end
Yeah.
to people talk about their bucket list that they get diagnosed with a terminal cancer or some sort, and they go, I'm going to go get what I want. Why not live it now? Why do you have to have the death sentence, quote unquote, to live out your dreams?
Yeah, it always seems that, I mean, if I think about that moment, if that were me with my kids and I had those thoughts, the reality is it was now a forced focus on appreciation.
Yeah.
And like, to me, if you can set a time to do that on a regular basis, and I'm just talking about stopping.
Yes.
I don't mean because the world is busy. That's what
Yeah.
it is. Their world came to a halt, in some
In a
big
real
type of
way.
way. Right. So to me, the lesson is, am I setting aside time when I'm home with my kids? Am I closing the computer and making sure they get my undivided attention on the regular?
Mm-hmm.
Not, oh my gosh, it's the end of my life. It's the end of our lives. A final appreciation. That would be really scary.
And let's go do the things I've always wanted to do now that I see the end in sight.
Yeah.
When you look, here's, I think the biggest misconception of success is that there is a destination involved.
Right.
There
Yeah.
is no
That
destination.
somehow you'll reach the top of the mountain and you're
There's
done.
none.
Yeah.
There's none. And it's so funny because everybody I know that goes, man, well, when I start making $100,000 a year, I'm going to have it set.
It'll
and then
be
they
different
go
when I get there.
150, 200, 250, 300, 400, and people, and then everybody will say, when you get there, you're going to want more.
Right.
It's like, boom, I know me. Trust me. When you get there, you want more, and you live to that extent of it, and it keeps going with it. And not saying that, obviously, everybody knows that I don't define success as just money, but all of the in between, right? So the 3 o'clocks in the mornings when I was really tired and pissed off, and my daughter was up, and I was laying on the floor, I just remember people saying, really cherish it. It goes fast, and as my pissed offness immediately went to, okay, let's just lay on the floor and play now. I want to be in this moment, right? Because that's a journey to
But that's
success of
hard.
that family, right?
That's very difficult because we're so used to controlling everything. I
Yeah.
don't mean like micromanaging, but
Yeah.
we're so used to controlling our own destiny, especially for your drivers. If you're driven to go do anything,
Yeah.
sometimes stopping is hard.
Hard.
And you get agitated, especially if you got kids.
Yes.
Like we do. They are not going to live by your schedule, your calendar, your sleep patterns.
Yeah.
It ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
And they're not going to respond the way, so the challenge we had with our 5-year-old, he's always had a pretty large vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd mistake his ability to use the words properly with understanding what they mean. And it would frustrate the stew out of you.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you actually stop to pay attention to what he's doing and how he's stopping, you could really start understanding what he was wanting. Because
Yeah.
we're expecting our kids to operate as fast as we are.
Yeah.
That's never
not
going to
gonna
happen.
happen.
And the only way around that I'm talking about kids because we both have them.
Yeah.
But
And
you
a lot
just
of our
gotta stop.
listeners do.
And that could go to your spouse.
Yep.
That could go to thinking about your career, planning just stop.
Yep.
Turn phones off. Just think.
I think humans, we as people and human beings, we have very short attention spans. We just
Yeah.
do. That's
Especially
why.
in
That's
today's
why when
world.
you're failing, you want change, and when you're succeeding, you want more. We get
Yeah.
bored, and we get complacent in that boredom very quickly.
Sure.
But the
It's important. Go ahead.
But the reason we get complacent is because we're not living for the things that we want to do while we're living. We're thinking we got to get somewhere, and then we do that bucket list. So
Right.
everybody's got these bucket lists. I guarantee you got 4 or 5 things that
sure.
you say I want to do before I die.
Yeah.
Why the hell don't you do them this year?
That's a great question.
Why not? You're single you got a girlfriend, but you
Yeah.
don't have any kids.
It's true.
Why don't you do them?
Yeah.
Because you think we're all programmed to think there's a destination for the things we're wanting. Les Brown is one of my all-time favorite speakers.
Love him.
If you don't know who Les Brown is, you better go Google him and listen to his stuff.
Absolutely.
And I can tell you something. If he doesn't light your fire, your wood's wet. I'm telling you right now.
That is great.
This guy
That is great.
this guy is one of the most inspirational people there is. He has a whole series on that. So many people, they die full.
They die
Because
full.
They die full of dreams, full of hopes, full of wishes, full of what they were going to do, full of that bucket list and all of it. And he says that you need to live full and die empty. When you die, be empty of all those things. All those things you were going to do, make sure you get it there. You live full and you die empty. When you're gone, when I'm gone, I want it all to be out. I want to say, I want to say there was nothing left on the table, that it was all out there, that I went to my end of it all with everything that I hoped and wished I was going to do. You know, all these people got dreams of, oh, I got this great idea that I want to start this thing, right? Over and over. And they die with all those things they were going to do. They die full of dreams, full of hopes, full of wishes, all the woulda, coulda, shoulda, wouldas. When you just got to do it, the success is not the destination. Success is in the journey. And if you take a second if you start changing your mind to understanding that every step along the way of that journey, that is the fun, living in those moments, what it will do is help you not become complacent. That will help you not become short attention span, because you're going to live in that going, like Joel starting out in the territory he's in, middle, you know, he's been there 6-7 months of that new road. It's like in 10 years, you're going to look back at that first year in it and go, man, those days were fun. It was so much simpler. It was all these things, right? That's why you got to enjoy it now, because this is the success.
Embrace
it's
the struggle.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I mean,
absolutely.
I know we're probably about to cut, but I'm telling you what, a lot of times the pressure, people think they're going to change when the pressure appears. Start early.
Yep.
Enjoy where you are when it stinks. Enjoy what it is about that stinks, because you'll appreciate that more later.
Live full, die empty, folks. Go look him up. Look up Les Brown, and that's something I think we all need to shoot for. We'll be back in a minute for the third segment of Second Shot.
Now that's what I call ignorance on fire. More of Second Shot with Keith Oakes still to come.
Hear ye, hear ye. Great news for all of you guys. Colonial Life is hiring some salespeople from all over the country. No matter where you are in the United States of America, if you're looking for a sales career, if you want to just learn more about what Colonial Life does, send an email to mbeltran@coloniallife.com, mbeltran@coloniallife.com. We'll get you set up with the right people you need to talk to and see if you're going to win that job. If you're in the Metroplex area, great. If you're in St. Louis, great. We're going to have office there for you. mbeltran@coloniallife.com, and change your career today.
Kick off your boots or suit up. The choice is yours. Welcome back to Second Shot on RNCN.
We just were talking about, we're not going to get into the whole Bitcoin thing on this one, because I can go a while on it. You know, when you do the next episode, we're going to have to address this Bitcoin stuff.
This Bitcoin stuff?
We're going to have to do it, but I'm going to need a lot more time than what we got now, because it literally can get me all fired up on talking about that stuff. But what I want to do right now is, obviously in the third segment, this one we take your emails and reviews and stuff. But today, since we got Joel in for the first time, we want to kind of introduce Joel, and so he can tell you a little bit of who he is and kind of talk about it and kind of his journey of where he was at and where he is right now, and where he's looking to go, and so I appreciate you taking the time on.
Thanks for having me. This is a lot of fun.
But tell them a little bit about you. Tell them who you are.
Well, I'm Joel Toigo. I'm the territory manager for the state of Oklahoma with Colonial Life, and I have known Heath for. Actually, when I actually met you, I met Heath one time. And that was at around the bar, and I think somewhere at headquarters at
Columbia.
Yeah, in Columbia. So I didn't start with where we are with Colonial Life. Before insurance, I had a construction company.
Oh, wow.
The short is it was great till it wasn't. It's funny. It's funny when I was watching him kind of mess with his microphone there and was having a challenge. I'm going, should I help him or should I not?
He was having a challenge. That was so nicely put. He was having a challenge.
The struggle is real.
Yeah, it was. So construction company was great until it wasn't, and I learned the most I did about business then is I knew that I didn't know how to run a business. I knew how to build stuff and hire and fire people. That's all it was. I got into insurance. I loved it, but I'll say my life didn't change until I got hooked up with the Colonial Life folks. Shout out to TJ McGinnis.
Yep.
My territory sales manager in North Florida. He reached out to me and we talked, and he wasn't pushy, so kind, and it took 6-7 months for me to even come on with Colonial, but when I did, the culture has been so phenomenal that I've been surrounded by folks who knew about business and those type things, and the more I do it, I think it kind of checked one of the boxes for me. I love business and thinking about business and how to scale it and how to fund it and all those different things is fun. And looking at opportunities, and it was the right fit. TJ helped me. And then in June 5th, I was effective in Oklahoma, and that was also the day we closed on our house. So I'd never seen Oklahoma.
Never stepped foot in Oklahoma.
Listen, I never lived outside of a 50-mile radius of good old Lake City, Florida.
Yep.
And which is in North Florida. And I was interested in being a TM. And I just remember TJ called me and said, "Hey, have you thought about Oklahoma?" I said, "I'm gonna need a little more than that because I've never been there."
Yeah.
Because I called TJ. I said, "TJ, can you help me talk Joel into thinking Oklahoma is like California, like beautiful oceans and everything? Because I want him to come there. Can you help me out a little bit?"
You know, the biggest question I get is, "Joel, that's got to be a culture shock moving to
It's
Oklahoma."
really not from North Florida.
It really is not from North Florida. No, it's not.
I lived in North Florida too, and this is the biggest thing. People in Florida, the more north you go, the more southern you get. The more south you go, the more northern you get.
Yep.
Yeah.
So North Florida is literally very similar to everything here. Like even the terrain and everything.
Yeah,
is very
it doesn't
similar.
look a whole lot different. I mean,
Really?
there aren't as many 100-year live oaks out there,
Yeah.
but it's very, very similar. I always heard it was flat. Well, we could ride our bicycle in our neighborhood
You know-
in Florida. I ain't riding my bicycle in this
Yeah.
one in Oklahoma.
Something that's crazy about colonial life. I remember the first time I ever heard about it. I was like a kid at my grandparents' house, and they had daytime television on Jeopardy.
No,
I
you
saw an
didn't.
ad for colonial
No, you
life.
didn't.
Exactly.
You saw Colonial Penn.
Oh my gosh, you're right. I did see colonial Penn.
What's his name?
Egg on
Alex
my
Trebek.
face.
Alex Trebek.
Wow.
Well, you're not the only one though. You're literally.
No.
Don't I
that's
feel
what-
like
normal.
a stooge?
No, here's the
No.
bet.
Yeah.
Everybody says that. Oh, I know. That's Alex Trebek. That's Colonial
It's
Penn.
colonial Penn.
Yeah, they do
has
burial.
the colonial
they do
word
burial.
on it.
They do like
Really?
burial life
Oh, I
insurance
guess you're right.
and med subs.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
that's-
that is an unfortunate thing you guys have to run into from
All
day
the
to
time.
day.
But the company's
Yeah.
been around that long.
Sure.
And the good thing, I mean, not a lot of people have a lot of negative about Colonial Penn, so it's really not the end of the world.
No, yeah,
No,
I didn't.
haven't.
Yeah.
I've never experienced, "Oh, you're that company."
Yeah.
I've never gotten that.
Yeah. One of the interesting things that I want kind of our listeners to talk about is with you, Joel, is that you and I have very good conversations, and it's so easy working with Joel because I don't have to worry about. I can just talk to Joel how he has a very keen like self-awareness. So when he has problem stuff, he's always like the first to be like, "Hey, I know I may just be a little emotional on this, so I just need to bounce this off to see if I'm just being emotional." But you weren't always like that, correct?
No.
So what was the change to be able, because I do, when people say, look, if I had was given the ability to build a human and I could only pick one trait, I would pick self-awareness out of any other trait in the world. Because
Sure.
if you have self-awareness, everything else can be developed because you got to know where you can and can't do right and wrong, right?
Huh.
And
Yeah.
some people, I got self-awareness, but they really don't. Joel has self-awareness. And so,
Thank
but,
you.
but you said you didn't always, you were not always like that. So I want to know, how did that transform?
Honestly, I think it's just through the progression of life. There was a time when I had to be the guy that said the thing. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Had to be that guy because it's cool because they laugh because I'm the only person saying the thing that nobody should have ever said.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just realized I was a big jerk.
Yeah.
and and it wasn't that good. And so honestly, what changed for me is when my people changed.
Yeah.
I got away from the folks who rewarded that. Honestly, they rewarded it. I was
Where
the guy
you grew
that would
up. You got out of where you grew up.
Yeah, I got to where I grew up and surrounded myself with people who understood business. And once you start looking at, to me, when I dove into business, it forced me to change some things.
Yep.
That even construction, absolutely not. That's
Well, but a lot of people don't.
right.
There's a lot of times
that's
that
true.
it should force
That's
them
true.
to change,
That's true.
and they don't. But you
That's
did.
true. Well, and you mentioned the emotional thing, like because I'll call you, and the thing that I don't like is being out of control.
Yeah.
So if something happens and I know I respond, I'm Italian, you respond heated.
Yeah.
If you're one of those bloods, you're kind of,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
grew up when you could have everybody having 5 conversations at the same time and know what's going on, but they're yelling.
Well, my wife is half Hispanic and half Italian, so I'm
Well, there you go.
fully aware of that.
Yeah. So mine was just learning to recognize the things that I was messing up with.
Yeah.
And when I was doing it, turning it into, actually I did training. I listened to books. I did, everything that I could possibly do. And over time, I didn't go, oh, I had this problem. Let's read a book that had something to do with it. It was just diving into books. And over time, I just realized, hey, there's a way around it. Learning to think why I felt the way I did or why, what was the cause. And once I started learning those triggers, I got better at responding and how I dealt with these things. So,
Where are you at right now in your success journey? Are you like at the pinnacle of the success you want to be at? Or are you not there yet? Are you on your way? How do you describe where you're at?
I am not. Honestly, I'm just now starting to understand what I'm capable of.
Gotcha. What do you mean by that?
Well, where I am now, there's not a place where I grew up. People say, so what did you dream about being when you were a kid? We didn't dream.
Yeah.
You just didn't. Like you didn't think about being a you just kind of lived your life, and it wasn't, not that big of a deal. But now that I'm out, I realize nobody from where I came from would look at me today and go, "We knew you could do it,"
Yeah.
because we never had the conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm at a spot now in my life that, fortunately, I'll tell you that if not for the wife that I have, I wouldn't be here. If you replaced her with somebody else, I wouldn't. There's no way I'd be here.
Yeah.
But I'm now seeing what I'm capable of, and even then, I'm sure that's always forever learning. But man, it's what I'm able to do now, and really that's at the level that I love working with people so much.
Yep.
That it's just doing more of it.
What do you think? Does it ever cross your mind to think about, like, now with your kids, right? Your kids are going to get to grow up in an environment of thinking big and seeing, like, does that ever, like, bring a big joy to you to think about the obstacles they don't have to overcome that you took, 28 to 30 years before
Sure.
you overcome that first aspect, and now they ain't going to have that. Is that not cool?
No, that is very cool. And, now that you're surrounded with people who are at the success levels, higher success levels than what I've been fortunate enough to achieve, you learn so much that you want to pass on.
Yeah.
And, they're just going to have a launching spot that I didn't have. And to me, that's why I never quit, is because I don't want them to learn that from me. I want them to learn, if I'm scared, that's the direction I'm going.
Yeah.
I want them to go harder and faster. And that's as far as in my career, man, I love it. This is great.
And Joel and them's territory is one of the top in the country already. And it was just a newly formed 2 years ago and already at the top of it all, and they're growing in a really huge way. But that's one of the biggest things I think, honestly, with Joel that I love working with him is that he takes accountability, he has the self-awareness, but he goes to work as well, and we have good these type of conversations like Joel and I have on a nightly basis as well. And so, his TSM, TJ, he talks about, I hired TJ when I was in North Florida. And TJ took my role when I left Florida to come back to Dallas, and then TJ hired Joel.
Right.
And
which is why it's kind of cool to work with Heath, honestly.
yeah, because it kind of
I'd heard
full
so much
circle.
about him, but
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, because he worked with TJ and
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun and getting to see Oklahoma do it, and that's I tell people I would pick one trait. I'd pick self-awareness. I think it's key. I think without self-awareness, you have nothing. If you have self-awareness, then you can do whatever you want, I believe.
No, I agree. I had one person one time told me they were extremely self-aware, and my response to them was, "Well, once you know, you have to make a decision to do something about it."
Yeah,
because they weren't doing anything about it
I
at
like
all.
that, because there's a lot of people that say they know, but they're not making a decision.
I know. I am extremely self-aware. Okay, well, your next step is you have to do something with that.
Right.
yeah,
Yes,
actually make a
and-
move.
Yep.
I appreciate you coming on, Joel, and you're going to
Thank
be
you
on
for
the
having
next episode as well, so that'll
Yep.
be good. Everybody get to hear him a couple times, and tell us where they can look you up and find you at.
Twitter at Joel Toigo. Obviously, LinkedIn's Joel Toigo, and Facebook is Joel Toigo. I keep it simple. Oh, Instagram, JT Dream Chaser.
Ooh,
Joel
keeping it simple,
and
yeah.
Toigo.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, guys, this is Heath Oaks. Obviously, you can look me up at Ignorance on Fire or at Heath Oaks anywhere on the web. And, remember, share us, leave a review, rating, send us an email, give us some questions with it. And we love y'all and see you next time.
You're listening to RNCN, the digital destination for premium talk radio.